First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rekah Kwadash, and double honors to those great millstone, while unto truth, and also to those elect that is scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great and powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And the type of the lesson is trade wars. So I like to say shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope to sweep you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we start today's lesson, I have a quick news article here by CBS News. And it reads that de minimis U.S. tariffs exemption ends for low value imports. Let's get a little bit of this report. It says here, an exemption that allowed low value parcels shipped to the United States to avoid tariffs ended at 12:01 a.m. Friday, Trump administration officials said. President Trump signed an executive order suspending what known as the de minimis exemption late last month. Said at the time, the White House said that would close what is called a catastrophic loophole that shippers use to evade tariffs and funnel deadly synthetic opioids or below market products into the U.S. So, that's all we're going to get of this right here. But basically, this here pretty much is, it's saying that I think it ended, I think it was yesterday, 12:01, so it's just pretty much is very serious that it's saying more than 33 countries, if we read a little bit more about it, have videos to bring it out, a little bit more edification, said that they're going to stop, suspend their shipments to the U.S. So what does that mean? So a lot of things are going to go up, inflation, a lot of small business is going to be affected by this de minimis exemption. So pretty much what it means is any package or parcel that is over 800, they're going to put a tax on it, a tariff on it, maybe 10%, whatever, or maybe 20 or 30. But we knowing where this is going to lead. We know that this is going to affect the economy. You know what I'm saying? We know that the sown place is going to become unsown. Also, there's already reports that the ports are very empty in the LA ports, and also on the East Coast. There's rumors that they're diminishing. Little by little. So we already know the effects. So we already know when the flow of merchandise stop. We already know that it's going to be a very great time of trouble, and also it's going to bring forth a famine, also a great economic collapse, and also we already know that this is by design, but by design of who? Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So the Lord is constantly breaking the staff of bread. So we know this is going to affect the supply chain line. This is going to a lot of these ports once again are coming empty. So all these, I think it's over 33 countries that are stopping shipment to the U.S. So things are constantly slowing down left and right. Also, we know that small business, they're going to be closing. Also, we knowing about all these different store closing around America. Walmart, just name a few. Walgreens, a lot of these retail stores, a lot of these grocery stores, and these trucking companies are closing down. A lot of things is constantly picking up. So we already seeing where these things are going. It's going to be inflation. Also, it's going to be turning to a hyperinflation. So it's going to come to a point whereby you won't be able to afford anything. And also, in the news, I was reading a lot of hospitals are closing too. Won't be able to get your medical supplies. So it's a lot of things as you won't be able to get. It's going to be a great shortage. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said, it's going to bring forth a famine. You know what I'm saying? Going to bring forth what? Order out of chaos. This de minimis exemption. So the Lord, so He's putting tariffs on all these different countries. So now, in retaliation to what DJ Donald Trump is doing, they said, well, we're not going to ship a damn thing to America. So right now, America is slowly circling the drain. They said China, all these different ones. I have a list of about, all these different ones that stop shipping merchandise to America. Let's see, can we get a little bit more of this here? It says here, the exemption applied to parcels value at 800 or less, and let overseas retailer ship inexpensive goods to consumer, in the U.S. tax free. Mr. Trump is putting an end to the proliferation of shippers worldwide that, among other things, deceptionally exploit the diminutive privilege. So we're gonna stop it right there. So we're saying right now that he putting a stop to anything that's over. I think it's over these 800. Anything over 800, they're gonna put a tax on it. So right now, these countries are very, displeased with that. Also, they're saying about Mexico is going to stop shipping their goods into America. So we're seeing right now this place is slowly becoming unsown. We're seeing that this place is slowly becoming a third world country. So the Lord is constantly taking away your support, your livelihood, your way of life is getting ready to change. So one thing about it, so they're not, a lot of people, they're not even talking about this. This is very significant. This is very important. You know what I'm saying? Goes into merchandising, going into trading, imports, export, the flow, So the flow is slowing down, going into the supply chain line. So right now we getting ready to see a major disruption in the supply chain line. So we are very close to this time, man, signing one executive order behind another. These unrighteous decrees. And a lot of people, are sick and tired of America. You know what I'm saying? This place is finished. We seeing left and right is happening. Also, we know we're coming upon a new digital infrastructure, a new digital system. So it's right at the door. A lot of things are taking place, and these prophecies are aligning, speaking loud and clear also. So we're very close. People right now eating good, still think they're a good cake, in their security, you know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, all hell would break loose. So now let's go get a quick precept before we start today's video to bring it out with more edification. Let's go here first to Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. It said, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, that right grievousness which they have prescribed. So woe go into destruction. Also, these unrighteous decrees talking about a law or a mandate or a executive order. So they, the Lord said, woe to them. These judges, the one that is constantly bringing all this calamities, all this affliction or oppression upon the people. People is the one that's going to suffer. You already know DJ Donald Trump, he's not giving a damn because he's what you call a billionaire. He's not going to feel the effects. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about it, he's constantly bringing it down each and every day. These executive orders over here, bringing out this law, that law, this law, that. It's just one thing behind another. So that's reading the NLT said, so what sorrow awaits the unjust judges and those who issue unfair laws. So exactly what they're doing is very unfair. And these nations are tired of America. You know what I'm saying? We will have healed Babylon, but she will not be healed. This place is getting ready to be totally destroyed. We're seeing that wars constantly increasing. Things are constantly picking up in the Middle East. Right here in our own backyard, things are constantly spilling out of control. We're seeing we're right at the boiling point, and all hell is getting ready to break loose once again. A great economic collapse. We're seeing that the supply chain line are constantly slowly drying up. We're seeing right now it could be a possible food shortage, water shortage, your medical supply, your everyday household good. You might probably won't be able to get it very soon. So we're coming upon these times. That's what we're warning about. And also we knowing about that MOTB is very close at hand. So now let's start today's video, and after the video we'll start the lesson, and I hope that you will get edified.
So most of the world has decided to stop shipping They stopped their shipments to the United States, their imports. As of today, there are 33 countries that have announced that they have suspended their shipments to the United States due to the ending of the de minimis, which is a tax exemption, a duties exemption that allowed packages and shipments coming into the United States under the value of $800 to be duty free. That ended today. And before it could officially end, countries around the world had already started announcing that they're not shipping over here anymore. If you think that I'm lying, just head over to USA Today to look at the list of all of the countries that have announced that they are no longer shipping to the United States. All right. And just to give you a little idea, I'm going to read off some of the countries that are on this list: Australia, Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Denmark, Estonia, France, Germany, Greece, India, Italy, Japan, and the list goes on. See, the UN's Universal Postal Union, right, which deals with the postal servicing of 192 countries, came out and stated that the changes will entail considerably operational changes for postal operators all around the world. And when the agency, right, was questioned by USA Today, they stated that they couldn't announce the names of these countries that decided that they will be suspending their imports to the United States. But then these countries decided to start announcing it themselves. They just started coming out and telling you guys, yeah, we're not shipping to the United States anymore. This should be bigger news, but for some reason it's not really being broadcasted. And I wonder why, considering that we are all going to feel it. For all of you guys who kept saying that we weren't going to feel any of the effects of what Donald Trump was doing until after the 4 years, we're feeling it now. We're feeling it now. Let me just let you know what we're all about to start experiencing, okay? We're going to be dealing with the increased cost of consumers. Now, I know a lot of people have been saying this from the beginning, but now you're really going to start feeling it. When you walk into those stores and you see that the prices actually jumped considerably, then you're going to start to realize the severity of what everybody was trying to explain to you guys. In addition to that, we're also going to be dealing with the impact on small businesses, okay? Essentially causing a lot of them to shut down. Why? Because the higher costs in operations, or it's going to take to operate their small business, as well as the loss in international consumers, okay? You're also going to have to deal with regulation changes. Now that all of these countries have decided to take a pause in shipping over to the United States, who's to say that they're not going to change how they deal with shipment and how they deal with tariffs? And overall, the trade relations is about to change in a way that a lot of us can't even handle. I'm going to be so honest with you. So yeah, all that talk about we're going to feel it in the 4 years, we're not going to really feel it right now. No. We're feeling it now.
This is breaking news. De minimis has gone into effect in regards to tariffs. That means that anything under $800 going into the U.S. is being taxed. This is about to crush small businesses. This is about to just crush our entire global sourcing, to be honest. And if y'all didn't know, 33 countries just stopped shipping to the United States. I don't know why this is not national news. Some of you all asked in regards to sourcing from China. Right now, shipping is going as scheduled. However, due to de minimis, any orders under 800, they are going to be taxed. But U.S. citizens, if you didn't know, go check the news today.
I hope y'all waking up and actually paying attention to what's going on right now. The California ports, one of the busiest in the world, is looking hella empty right now, y'all. It's no ships pulling in, no shipments going out, and they trying to tell us, oh, don't worry, it's just because of the tariffs. The tariffs is the reason why this is happening. Maybe it is a little bit of the tariffs, but what else is it? Y'all just seen what happened the other day in some parts of Europe. Power outages. I'm talking blackouts everywhere. 50 million people was affected. And they talking about some solar activities. And now the supply chain is drying up quietly? I'll ask yourself, what moves easier through empty ports? Goods or something else? You think they clearing it out for business? Or they clearing it out for something they don't want to
Mexico has become the latest country to suspend postal shipments to the United States of America, following a number of other countries over tariffs and the confusion caused by Donald Trump's elimination of what is called a de minimis exemption. So here's what you need to know. Several countries have now stopped, essentially suspended, postal services, whether from the European Union or Mexico, over a Donald Trump plan to end an exemption called de minimis exemption, which essentially eliminates tariff duties on low-value items under $800. And now today, according to Politico, Mexico is the latest country. And just in the past year, Customs and Border Patrol says that over 1.3 billion packages actually came into the United States under this exemption. That's over $60 billion worth of goods. And so now Mexico's government's saying, we're not going to send packages to the United States and either postal services in the European Union and elsewhere until at least they get more information about what the heck is happening. So spread the word and follow along. Stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. I'll have much more to come soon.
We have some big news right now. Hong Kong's post office will stop shipping small parcels to the United States because of Donald Trump's tariffs. Hong Kong has officially waded into the trade war. According to a new statement from the Hong Kong Post, it says that it will not collect tariffs on behalf of the United States. It will suspend accepting any non-airmail parcels containing goods destined for the United States. It said, quote, "For sending items to the United States, the public in Hong Kong should be prepared to pay exorbitant and unreasonable fees due to the United States' unreasonable and bullying act. It'll continue accepting mail that is only documents, but essentially all small parcels will have halted shipment to the United States for an indefinite period of time, likely as long as these sanctions, these tariffs are in effect for." And now Hong Kong is in the middle of China and the United States' ongoing trade war. So buckle up, folks. I'll do a full breakdown on my Substack this evening, so subscribe for free at the link in my bio. Spread the word and follow along today.
So now let's start today's lesson. We'll start here first in Ecclesiastes chapter 12. We'll start there. So we're seeing that right now that these trade wars, is going to cause a ripple effect throughout the world. So we see it right now. It's creating, these supply chain line disruption. Also, we seeing right now it's going to be a lack of merchandise, pretty much a lack of bread. Different things like that. It's getting ready to come into play. Also, inflation going to turn into what? Hyperinflation. People are going to start panicking. People are going to have what's called desperation. A lot of people are going to be afraid. A lot of people are going to starve to death. A lot of things are coming into play. That's what we're constantly warning you about. The beginning of sorrow. The birth pains are right upon us. These prophecies that they are speaking. So let's start here. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 1. It says, "Remember now the Creator in the days of thy youth. Say, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh. So when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." So, right now it's the opportunity, while you're young and vigorous, while you're, able, it's time to seek the Lord, because we coming upon a time there where you will have no pleasure in them, so we're coming upon a perilous time. A time of trouble that we've never seen before. So we're seeing right now DJ Donald Trump, with these tariffs, is creating that condition, order out of chaos. That's exactly what they want. So one thing about it, that we know that evil day is upon us, and also you will have no pleasure in them because it's going to be a lack of bread and what great tribulation. Verse 2 said, "While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain." Verse 3 said, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves." It said, "And the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened." So right here it says here the keepers of the house, so that he's seeing that dark forecast. These what you call these stockbrokers, these financial advisors, looking, seeing that that how the stock market highs, looking at highs, is constantly plunging. And, a lot of things they seeing. It's very the outlook is looking very dim. So we are here. So the people are right now preparing. A lot of people say they're getting food, they're getting water, different things like that, trying to brace for the impact. But the only way you're going to be able to brace for this impact if Yahweh Shai is on your side. And it says here, It said the grinders cease because they are few. It said, and those that look out the windows be darkened. So that grinder cease going into what? Unemployment. You know what I mean? Goes into employment, you know, your jobs. You know, so we already know, and we seeing a lot of jobs right now pretty much diminishing, you know, unemployment. You know, a lot of people are going to be jobless, you know, not going to be able to take care of their family. They're not going to be able to take care pretty much nothing, you know, because it's going to come upon that time. That's why they're going to come up with a plan. That plan is the NWO. So a lot of these things are coming. So a lot of people are looking out their window and seeing what it's darkened. So they're seeing right now that the days right now are getting very evil. You know, it's getting very, very perilous, you know, coming upon very critical time that what they're seeing. You know, a lot of people, you know, they're talking, they're, you know, saying, you know, having conversation about, you know, America is finished, or this place, you know, a lot of people saying they're moving out of America, they dragging up out of this place, you know, they're trying to get out of here, because they're seeing right now that, you know, hey, this place is not pleasant anymore. They're seeing right now that, you know, this place is getting ready to be a total nightmare. So that's what they're looking at the window, seeing that dark forecast. All hell is getting ready to break loose. Verse 4 says, so, and the door shall be shut in the street. So when the sounds of the grinding is low. So, and he shall rise up at the voice of the birds, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. It says here, it says, and the door shall be shut in the street. So we already seeing right now a lot of these store closing, you know what I'm saying? These hospitals are closing, you know, pretty much, you know, small business are closing down. This place is getting ready to look like a ghost town. It said the grinding is low. That means that no job, you know what I'm saying? No hustle and bustle of the city, you know, all that is coming, it's drying up. So we seeing it right now. The daughter of music, you know, is brought low, you know what I'm saying? All the mirth, you know, in the land, you know, it's constantly, you know, it's you know, it's getting ready, coming upon what? Hard times. And a lot of people are not going to be prepared. A lot of people are going to be bugged out of their mind. A lot of people are going to give up the ghost, you know, and also a lot of people are going to starve to death. So we seeing what the song places are getting ready to be unsown. Let's get that right quick. So we seeing that right now how things is constantly diminishing. We seeing that things right before our eye, and a lot of people still thinking that they are a good case. So let's start here. Let's get this one right quick. We're just jumping around. Maybe get two more and we'll close out. 2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 22, go straight to the point. This is exactly what's happening with these ports. It says here, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. So exactly what we getting ready to see. You see what that report that I think the second to the third video where it said about that the ports are massively empty. In the LA ports, also the one on the East Coast, they're not putting these things in the news, so things are constantly drying up. Also, we know in the trucking industry, we know that, you know, a lot of our goods come by trucks. You know what I'm saying? The railways, different things like that. And also, you know, pretty much, you know, you get everything coming. The main vein is that the ports, you know, coming in by the trucks and by the railways like that, you know. So we seeing that these full storehouses are getting ready to become empty. You know what I'm saying? A time of trouble that we have never seen before. Food shortage, rolling blackout, power grid out, no internet, no water, no resources. These things are coming into play, and we're constantly warning you left and right. So now let's go here to 2 Ezra chapter 16. Who will deliver me in those days? Because we coming upon this time. So like you get there right quick. 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse. Let's start up at verse. Let's go straight to the point. Verse 18. 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 18 said, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So one thing about it, we're at the beginning of sorrow. We're at the beginning of the birth pain, the beginning of mourning, beginning of famine, great death, and also the beginning of war. What? World War III, the last and final war right before the great and glorious return of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. That's where we at right now, saying when these evils shall come, what are you going to do? You got to seek the Lord while he can be found. Verse 19 say, behold, famine, plagues, tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute. So these things are sent as scourges for a minute. We're seeing it right now. Famine, plagues, say these pestilence, it's just increasing. The tribulation is constantly picking up. Are sent for scourges for a minute. It's time to amend yourself, examine yourself. Get your house in order, get your mind right, let go of the mortal thought, because it is at the door. Verse 20 said, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourge. So a lot of people are saying, a lot of people, they're not talking about it. Have you heard about it? Some people, constantly but being happy-go-lucky. You say, hey, everything is fine. I'm eating good today. Everything is lovely. But in the next verse, I'm finna tell you right here, verse 21, it said, behold, victuals shall be good and cheap upon the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Say, and even then shall evil grow. Say, upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So that's exactly what we're seeing right now. A lot of people right now, I'm good. I'm a doomsday prepper. I have plenty. I'm prepared. Only way you will be prepared if the Lord is dealing with you and you're part of the election. And one thing about it, the Lord is coming back to destroy this place with the what? With the sword, by famine and great confusion. And that's what exactly what's getting ready to happen when this food go, when the money go. We already know that, people are going to lose their damn mind. We already read upon a great economic collapse. Also, we read upon what? A civil war. This nation is divided and it will not stand. But guess what? You still thinking that you are a good case because you're working right now. You still have your job right now. You still have your family, your home, your car and stuff. But guess what? All of a sudden, in a blink of an eye, these things are going to be taken away from you. Your livelihood is getting ready to change. Your way of life is getting ready to change. Life-changing events. Things are getting ready to happen beyond your comprehension. Verse 22 said, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So, one way or the other, if the Lord is not on your side, famine, a lot of people going to die by famine, food shortage, rolling blackout, cyber attack, starvation, the other that don't get destroyed by that, hunger and the sword, that judgment from the Lord, it's invading forward, these sleeper cells, a lot of things are coming into play. That's what we're constantly warning you about. Things about to get real. This could be the possible dark winter. And once again, it's time to seek the Lord. So now, let's go to our last and final script. Let's go here to Ezekiel. Let's go to the blue letter. Ezekiel chapter 4, Salakia. Ezekiel chapter 4 and Ezekiel chapter 4, I think it's around verse, we'll find it in a minute. Ezekiel chapter 4, and we'll start at verse 16. Ezekiel chapter 4 and verse 16. And it reads, it said, moreover, he said unto me, son of man, said, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment or surprise or dismay. They're going to be bugged out of mind. What is going on? What is happening? So we seeing right now the Lord says he's going to break the staff of bread. That means talking about your support, your necessity, your way of life, your livelihood. Things are getting ready to change. So let's read it in the NLT. It says here, Ezekiel chapter 4 and verse 16 said, then he told me, son of man, I will make food very scarce in Jerusalem. Said it will be weighed out with great care and eaten fearfully. Said the water will be rationed out drop by drop, and the people will drink it with dismay. You know what I'm saying? People gonna be like, oh, help me, Jesus. But one thing about it, we already know it. You don't know the true name of the Heavenly Father. You can know it, but if you're not part of the elect, you're going to be in dismay. You're going to be in total confusion. That's where we at right now. So we coming upon that, that great economic collapse, a great famine in the land. These things are coming upon a great lack. The lack of bread, great tribulation. That's what we constantly warn you about, left and right. So it's going to be a food shortage, water shortage, necessity, your way of life, you haven't bathed in that several days, hadn't eaten in several days, you can't get your medical supply, people gonna be dying all around you. This place is getting ready to be a third world country overnight. Verse 17 said that they may want bread and water and be astonished one with another and consume away with their iniquity. So exactly what's getting ready to happen. A lot of people going to consume away. They're not going to make it. Let's read an NLT. It said, lacking food and water, people will look at one another in terror, and they will waste away under their punishment. The punishment from who? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, judgment from the Lord. So that's what the Lord is going to do. A lot of people are going to starve to death. A lot of people are going to go to these facilities. These soldiers are going to come in. We see it already now that they're having this military buildup in major cities around across America. Also we already know who they are targeting. They are targeting what? The people of color, the Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Indians. And one thing about that, terror is getting ready to come upon you. The Lord said 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. So judgment is now at hand. The Lord is bringing these things down. We're seeing that things are changing left and right. We're seeing that a lot of uncertainties. A lot of people going to have a lot of desperation. And one thing about it, so when this time of trouble comes, a lot of people are not going to have faith. A lot of people are going to line up like clockwork. Yes, I would take it. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that grain of rice, because they're going to want a sense of normalcy. But it's nothing is going back the same. All hell is getting ready to break loose. And also the great and glorious return of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. It is fastly approaching. Our salvation is at the door. We cannot wait. So the title of the day lesson, once again, is Trade Wars. So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Rikah Kwadash. I like to say Shalom. Shalom.